A race of immortals who look like praying mantises hunt for your soul, elf. They look for you for 1 week out of every 7 years in order to hunt you, in order to kill you, in order to take your soul, in order to go back and ascend into the heaven. Elf, will you survive this week of reckoning as the Chausser Agile hunt for you and look for your soul? The Chausser Agile were once loyal servants to the Raven Queen herself. They were her top reapers who reaped the souls of those who died in the Prime Material realm in order to give them to the Raven Queen so then she can help them ascend into whichever heaven or hell that they truly deserved. Now, what had happened to the Chausser Agile was they got a little overzealous with the reaping, a little too much. Basically, what happened was they started reaping souls a little too much than the Raven Queen had wanted, and was starting to create what was called the Reckoning, in which for 1 week they actually reaped so many souls that half of the Prime Material world almost was wiped out and was extinct. And as they kept on reaping, they just wouldn't stop. Even after Raven Queen said, "You need to stop, and that is enough." They kept going because they believed the more souls that the Raven Queen would have, the better chance that the Raven Queen could have to becoming the top god. They even went so far to devise a plan, create and develop weapons that were strong enough to reap the souls of gods themselves in order for the Raven Queen to become the god among all gods. Now, the Raven Queen obviously didn't like them disrupting the balance that she had with all of the other gods, as it was starting to threaten the natural order of things. So what she did to her prime reapers, the Chausser Agile, was she contorted and twisted their bodies and turned their sides into arms and turned their flesh into chitin and bone. And she turned them into basically praying mantises and said, "You will curse to this fate, and you will always live in the prime material, and you will be forever scorned from my sight." Spurred away from the love of their goddess, the Raven Queen, the Chausser Agile were forced to live on the prime material world. Now, as they lived in their immortality of just sadness and pain of being spurred away, they sympathized with all other immortal creatures, so much so that they actually take it amongst themselves to end their suffering and end their mortality, as they can never have it ended, as the Raven Queen refuses to accept them. So, the Chausser Agile take a very special way in order to kill elves because they're the only race that are semi-immortal. And because of that, they think that they are sparing them from the sadness and the pain of living forever. Because they sympathize with their immortality, they think that only by killing an elf can they truly allow it to reach the grace of the Raven Queen and be blessed and saved from their horrible fate. Now, the Chausser Agile, because they are spurred away from the Raven Queen themselves, they try their absolute hardest in order to rejoin her. And the way that they try to join her is by killing things and by taking their souls and eating them, because every soul the Chausser Agile eat brings them closer and closer to death. And because of this, the entire race of the Chausser Agile are trying to make themselves extinct by killing off as many creatures as possible. And every single time they physically die because another creature kills them off, they simply just reborn and they just do not die. And the only way to kill them is to feed them so many souls that their body can finally join the Raven Queen, in which she then ascends them and forgives them for their overzealous killings. Now, some of the Chausser Agile are a little more weirder and a little more zealous, and what they decide to do is they decide to go to the areas that are most linked to the Raven Queen themselves and stay there in order to try to be as close as possible to her while still holding on to what they see as their current immortality, as they are too afraid to see her and feel her rage once again. The Chausser Agile are by no means a barbaric race that just kills for the sake of killing and gaining souls like the Groznoks, but they are very thoughtful, meticulous, and dexterous, so much so than the elves that they hunt. And they live in a very rigid caste society, which is basically defined by whoever is the closest to dying and getting closer to the Raven Queen. Now, there's 1 week during every 7 years, which is called the Week of Reckoning, when all the planes line up in just the right formation for all the Chausser Agile to kill, and gain so many souls that they will be able to die faster, easier, and quicker, and they'll be able to rejoin their queen once again. And during this week, the caste system is broken and redefined. Basically, all those who died are already at the pinnacle and are gone from this world and have joined the Raven Queen. And all those who are really close to dying become the echelon and the top of the entire caste society itself. And this is the Week of Reckoning, in which all elves fear and quake in their boots, because this is the 1 week where they are hunted religiously and horribly. I'm glad you made it to the end of the video, storyteller. Please comment down below on how much you like the Chausser Agile. Would you put them in your world? And what monster type would you categorize the Chausser Agile as? I really hope you like this video. If you really liked it, give it a thumbs up. Like, it doesn't hurt you, just like a little bit of finger strength. And yeah, so if you really liked it, please subscribe and hit the bell icon below, because I post new videos every Saturday and Tuesday. 2 times on Saturday, 1 time on Tuesday. 2:30 and 4:30, and some random time on Tuesday maybe. But please feel free to subscribe, as I make so much more amazing content for you. And if you really want to join our community of amazing storytellers, please go into our Discord, which I will link below, Storytellers Paradise, where a bunch of us storytellers just answer the quests of the day or the QOTD and just engage with each other and tell our stories and try to make this amazing community of loving storytellers that just want to help each other just tell stories. And if you really like me, please go on my Twitter, just like, follow me over there, and I'm gonna be posting so much more content related to D&D, as I'm making it my agenda this week in order to start doing that. So I really hope you like it, and in a world without fantasy, sometimes we need a little Dungeons and Dragons.